memories in Germany. It's unbelievable. I want to go to Hawaii or something like that. So welcome to my first vlog of film photography. You might be thinking, oh, what the hell is he doing? He's talking about film photography in the digital world? Exactly. What is the reason for that? You know, I just feel I need to go back from digital to film. Because the last years I was shooting so many pictures, I was shooting so many locations, and last year when I went to Scotland, it was a tremendous landscape, and I was there with my digital stuff. I had everything. I just rushed from place to place, took as many pictures as I could, not really thinking about composition, just setting my camera, putting shutter, going from one place to another. I came back with thousands of pictures, and honestly, I only took 3 images from the 7 days I have been to Scotland that were worth putting on my wall. The more I photographed, the more time I photographed, the more photos I took, but the photos did not get better, not at all. They got worse, and I really struggled with post-processing stuff, and I really did not enjoy photography that much than at the start. So I thought, is there a chance for me to get into photography a kind of second time? And I realized a number of my favorite photographers that I really like, for example Michael Kenner, Bruce Percy, and some others, are still today shooting film, and they're always telling, or they're always talking about the connection that you have as a human being to your environment. And I really like this fact, because this was what I enjoyed the most in the beginning. So I thought of going backwards. Instead of buying a new DSLR or whatever, I thought, okay, if you have a film camera and you only can take 12 or 24 photographs, you need to think much more about composition, about light, about your setup, about being at the right time at the right place. So I really wanted to slow down my photography, just because I felt so much driven inside of me to get as many photographs of a scene so that I can look afterwards at the computer which one I like to choose. But I think this is the totally wrong start for me. So my goal is to start film photography from today on. I'm going to buy a camera, I'm going to buy film, I'm going to buy a light meter, and then we'll see if I can make photography a part of my hobby that it was one time, a couple of years ago. So let's start right now, and welcome to a journey of film photography. So yesterday I went to bed with golden sunlights, with a lot of beautiful colors, and today I woke up and everything was covered by snow. There's a huge snowstorm coming over this island where I am at the moment in the north of Germany. I haven't seen something like this before. Everything looks like it's in Christmas time. It's so beautiful, and I just thought, because there's a very nice, beautiful part here covered with old trees, and I might probably get some very nice pictures there, and let's see how this will work out. I will just show you the beach because the snow is the storm is pretty strong at the moment, and we'll have a look. Maybe we can make it to the beach. I did not make it the last time because the snow was so heavy. Let's have a look if we can make it now, so that you have an idea what's going on at the moment here in Germany, in freezing Germany. It's unbelievable. I want to go to Hawaii or something like that. Oh god, shitty. Just have a look. I don't know even if you can see this. All those trees are shaking so much from the wind. So let's get hide into the forest and see what we can get there, if we can make some nice pictures. So at the moment I've set up my camera just right here, as you can see this, just pointing into the trees. I'm really trying to get a nice composition. It's really tough at the moment because of the heavy snow that just fell down on the branches. They break off very often. As you can see this here, for example. So it's not a forest that is tidied up very well, but nevertheless it's very beautiful. There are a lot of possibilities that you can have here. Actually, at the moment I'm trying to find out how to expose in the right way for film. So I'm exposing Velvia 50 and Ektar 100. Why do I choose those films over the others? It's pretty easy because I think Velvia 50 has this really nice magenta color thing going on, and sunsets and sunrises that I really like. And there was a guy that says it's nearly impossible to overexpose Ektar 100. So I think that are the two reasons why I choose those films over others. If you have any suggestions what I should try, just give me a link in the comments and I probably will make this happen. So every scene that I shoot today, I shoot twice. One time with Velvia 50, one time with Ektar 100, and I will see the difference in exposure, how to expose them rightly to get the scenes really nicely looking. So let's see if we can make anything happen. Can we get up here? We made it! So right now I've set up my camera just here in this position. As you can see, it's pointing just right to those poles that I found just by crossing this place with my car. So I set up my camera here with my filter kit, and actually it's an ND filter. It's a 6-stop filter that will actually give me an exposure of 4 seconds. Because of the film and the reciprocity effect, I will just make the exposure from 4 to about 5 seconds. And for this I just use my stopwatch, and let's see how this will work out. So You know, I forgot my tripod, so I tried to do this with one hand while filming with the other. So I set everything up. I just got the dark slide out here. Got my stopwatch, and I tried to push this separately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 seconds. So let's see how this picture turned out. So right now we are back at the office. I've got my prints back from the lab. A lot of them turned out quite good, at least when it comes to exposure. And I would say just we jump into the images and have a look at them at the light table, and we can see how they turned out. So let's go. So let's jump into the images right now at the light table. It's a very cheap one. Maybe I should have spent some more money. So those are the first images. As you can see nothing. The 3 images just turned out nearly pitch black. I'm not sure why, probably I made some mistakes, but I think, as you can see, the next 3 ones and then the last ones of the shoot, they got brighter and brighter. But I did not really change the aperture or the exposure time or whatever. I had nearly the same settings on each picture. But as you can see, probably the camera needed some time to adjust itself from the exposure time. You know, the camera wasn't used for months, probably even years. I was really lucky that I got one that cheap, but actually they turned out in the end the way I wanted them to be, so nicely exposed for the scene. So we can just skip that and just jump into the next images. And they were made at an island called Rügen in the north of Germany. The weather was not that nice. It was a very flat sky, very cloudy. As you can see here, there was a dot on the filter. Probably I did not clean this very good. I have to take care of this the next time. There are some images that are really black. I'm not really sure what happened. Probably I made some mistakes there as well. One of those images is very overexposed, as well as on those images here. This is just because I used an ND filter. I thought it was a 10-stop filter, but actually it was a 6-stop filter. I didn't care with a digital camera, because you can just adjust it and see it in the live view. You can't do this with the film camera at all. So I really have to take care of this, what I'm using, which film I'm using, and then I have to meter the scene exactly for this film, for this filter, and then we can go on. So, but nevertheless, for the shorter exposure times, I'm pretty happy how they turned out. At least you can scan them and adjust them a little bit more, and I will do this in a couple of minutes. Or maybe even in a different episode, because I find out scanning film as a totally own chapter, and probably we'll talk about this in the next episode. So right now we're coming to the last images of this trip. I'll just show you a couple of images that you have seen some in the field action before. Those are the images you've seen where I have been to the forest, where it was snowing that much. Those are the images from the forest, and those are 2 long exposures from the sceneries with the poles. So probably it turned out a little bit dark, so probably I did not adjust the ND filter right, or probably I made the mistake with the reciprocity table. Probably I did not choose the right exposure time. I will have a look at this in the next time I'll be shooting some long exposures. This picture turned out a little bit dark, actually. The darks are too darks and the whites are not as white as they should be. The lower one is pretty nicely exposed. I'm pretty happy with that. Even those 2 images on the top left and the bottom right are okay. You know, if they got scanned, I can probably adjust them a little bit better, and then we can see how they look like. I will just show you some color negative prints of these sceneries as well. You can also see, you know, this is the tree, this is compared to this image, and there's the small forest that you can see on the top here, and there are probably some long exposures of the poles there as well. You can't see that much on a color negative film, so I will just show you how they look like when they have been scanned. I just found out scanning is a whole scene for itself, and I'll probably talk about that. If you're interested in an episode about scanning, about how to scan them, where to scan them, what costs do you have when you give them to someone who will scan them for you, what resolution you need to adjust them afterwards in Photoshop or Lightroom, just give me a comment below if you're interested in that. And if you're interested in those themes, then we'll talk about this in the next episode. So those are the images. I will just show you some one-to-one comparison between Velvia 50 and Ektar 100 when they have been scanned. And then I hopefully see you the next time with the next episode. So enjoy your day, have some fun out there with your camera, go and grab your stuff and go out there. See ya. Just one more thing. So what did we learn today? I will just show you. The first thing that we learned today is always check your lens / filters. You know, always clean them. There should be no drops in front of them, so you can't get there a second time and get a second picture. The second thing, check your settings. You know, just have a look at the exposure time, at the aperture of what you metered for the scene. Always adjust them rightly, check them twice, very important. The third one, always check the ISO. You know, I never did that before with the digital camera, but when you're using a film camera, always think of the film. It might be just one stop that you need to add, but very important. This can make the thing very, very important. The fourth thing is, if you're shooting long exposures, don't forget reciprocity effect. Always have a look. Take a table with you, chart with you, so that you can see how much time do you need to add for a long exposure. For example, Velvia 50, if you do a 4-second exposure, you need to add 1 more second, and so on. And this chart will always tell you how much time you need to add for a long exposure in order to get it rightly. So, and the fifth thing is, bring all your equipment. Don't forget a tripod like I did, so I can't make any nice videos for you so that you can see what's going on in the field. I think for me this is very important, so I will show you the next time exactly what's going on into the field, how I handle the camera, at least how I do this, how I try to find out my way to photograph with this camera. So always bring your equipment that you need with you. So it's better to go back to your house if you just around the corner and grab all the stuff and then go into the field, then you have everything and nothing can go wrong. And the third, the sixth thing, again, check your settings again. So always check your setting as much as you can do, and then you just push the button, you hit the shutter, and then you can see some nice images. Just have a look at images, leave me a comment below, and see you soon.